Countdown for blast off. X minus 5, 4, 3, 2, X minus 1, fire. From the far horizons of the unknown come transcribed tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in 1,000,000 could-be years on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Street and Smith, publishers of astounding science fiction, presents
X minus 1.
Tonight's story, Courtesy.
This is the story of the second expedition to the planet of Landro. I'm recording it for any future expeditions which might land on this God-forsaken sphere, in the hope that they may learn from our tragic example. As I write, there are 2 of us left. 2 out of an original complement of 180 men. One of us, myself, will be dead in less than 23 minutes. As for the other, heaven have mercy on him, I do not know. On June 3rd, 1997, less than 2 months ago, the last of our supply ships blasted off from Lando for their return to Earth. After it had gone, I remember looking out across the plain at the dead city, one of thousands that dotted this planet. It had tall, graceful buildings, atomic power systems, vacuum conveyors, all perfect, all deserted, all ominous. How had it happened? The best guess was that the plague had frightened the original inhabitants of the planet so that they'd piled into rocket ships and headed for some distant planet. I often wondered why a civilization so advanced as Landro could not find a serum to beat the plague. It had taken our Earth doctors less than 6 months to develop an immunization method. Well, maybe those aborigines back in the hills knew the answer. That strange, ugly little people who had taken to the caves the day we landed. I was thinking these things when something happened that gave me the shock of my life.
Good evening, Captain.
Oh, what brings you here, Doctor?
It's the matter of the serum, sir.
Oh, what about the serum?
It's no good.
No good?
It's too old. 10 years too old.
Didn't you examine it?
Yes, I did, but, well, my eyesight has been failing lately.
Are you aware, Doctor, that the last supply ship has returned to Earth? Do you know we'll have no more contact for 2 years? Just, how long do you give us?
Well, the present immunity will last a week or so. Then, without booster shots, it's just a question of time until someone picks up the plague. After that...
What about the natives? They don't die from the plague?
The accepted theory is that they have developed an immunity.
Well, suppose they haven't developed an immunity, Doctor. Suppose they get the disease.
Then they must have a treatment for it. If they don't, there would be no natives.
Would you be willing to go on an expedition to the hills to find out?
At this point, Captain, I'd be willing to do anything. Absolutely anything. I am truly sorry.
You're sorry? Dr. Morgan, sometime when you aren't too busy, when you have a moment, I'd hate to inconvenience you. Would you mind telling me how it feels to murder 180 men? 181, including yourself. I did a lot of thinking after Dr. Morgan left my hut. It was still unreal for me. After all, the planning of an expedition was no simple thing. You put into it the result of years of training and experience, years of study at the academy, years of learning how to handle men and natives. Every man on my crew was hand-picked for his skill. And yet, a simple thing like a myopic surgeon misreading a label could blast the whole thing. Yes, it was a shame. And I did the only thing I could think of. I yelled for Bat Ears Brady. Brady! Get your carcass in here. Take the lead out.
Okay. Well, what's up?
Sit down, Bat Ears.
You got trouble, Kev?
We got trouble.
What?
The serum's no good.
What?
Morgan forgot to check it. It's 10 years too old.
Holy jumping snails. You're going to court-martial
That
that?
wouldn't do much good. We'll all be dead pretty soon unless somebody figures something out.
Well, what are you going to do, Kev?
Well, there's only one chance. One chance in 10 million.
What?
The natives.
Them cave rats. What good can they do us?
Now, they don't get the plague, so maybe they know a cure.
Okay. Let's get a few of them and beat it out of them.
That's why you're here.
Shoot.
How'd you like to come along on a little expedition up to the cave country? You, me, the doctor, and Faulkner.
Faulkner? Now, listen, Cap, he's worse than the doctor.
Yes, but he knows more about the native culture than anybody here. He's the only one who's completely familiar with the records of the first expedition.
Okay, so it's me, you, the doc, and Faulkner. When do we start?
Tonight, in half an hour. We should reach the cave country by tomorrow. With luck, we'll be able to find natives before night. Benny Faulkner was the expedition anthropologist. One of the most unfortunate-looking individuals I've ever met. An ugly man with large ears and a big nose. His body was small and consumptive, but he had a good brain. And he was the best anthropologist the Interplanet Institute could recommend. He and Dr. Morgan were the only two civilians on the expedition. We set out, and after several hours hard walking...
Cap.
Now, what is it?
Don't look now, but very slowly turn your eyes to the right and look behind that big yellow rock.
Okay.
You see anything?
No?
Well, keep looking. Don't stop walking or let on.
Okay.
There.
Yes, it looked like a shadow or something.
It's one of them gimpos. He's been following us now for almost an hour, dodging in and out behind the rocks. Shall I bring him in?
No, not yet. Just pretend you don't see him. Tell the others, if they notice, to show no fear. There's nothing will start these simple-minded cavemen like fear. The manual said, under no circumstances shall a member of the patrol display fear before a native. The dignity of the Earthman must be preserved at all costs. Just before dawn, we reached the cave country. We were tired and hungry, and we stopped to cook some food and rest. Everything was quiet. There was no sign of the gimpo which had been trailing us until...
Okay, get in there, you sneaking little monkey man. Come on, before I break this shovel on your stern.
Yeah, what's the trouble?
Cap, I caught me one of these gimpos sneaking around outside the tent.
Bring him in the light of the fire. We can get a look at him. Faulkner?
Yes, sir?
Keep an eye on him. Try to establish some communication.
All right, get in there.
Look out. No need to knock him down, Bat Ears.
Oh, that's the only language they understand.
See if you can reach him, Faulkner.
Okay, Captain. I'll need a drum of some sort.
A what?
Well, they have no language as we know it, and they have a very rudimentary sense of hearing. I find they communicate with one another through a very primitive kind of vibration of the tongue. The closest I can come is a series of drum beats, a sort of Morse code. The psychologist on the first expedition had it worked out before he was killed by the plague. I've studied his notes, and I think it'll work.
You mean these little critters can talk to one another?
I believe they can. At any rate, we'll have a chance to find out. Do we have something I can use for a drum?
Here, take my water bottle.
Thank you, Doctor. Now, I'll tap it 3 times. That's a greeting of some sort.
Just a moment.
Yes, sir?
I don't want you treating this fellow like an equal. Don't give him the idea that we're desperate. Once they sense that, you're lost.
I have to communicate with him, sir.
Well, just bear in mind what I said. Dignity.
Yes, sir. I'll do my best, sir.
It was a strange sight. On one side of the water bottle crouched little Benny Faulkner, looking for all the world like a human spider. Across from him crouched the Landrian, a humpbacked, gray little creature with an enormous head and those huge, soft lavender eyes. Every few moments, one would stop the strange tattoo of communication, and the other would take it up. I'm setting forth in this narrative the most vital part of their conversation, as Benny Faulkner later transcribed it from the best of his memory. Benny asked, "Why were your cities abandoned? Was it the plague?" The native said yes. Benny said, "Do you still fear the plague?" The native answered yes. "Do any of your people become afflicted?" The answer was some. "How do you treat them?" Silence. "How can we find a cure for the plague?" More silence. Then the native said, "Go among my people." Benny asked, "Will we find the answer among your people?" And the native replied, "My people have the answer." Benny said, "Will you tell me the answer?" The native repeated, "Go among my people." As far as the Landrian was concerned, the conversation was ended. He rose to go, and Faulkner stepped from his path, but Brady was there to ensure the bet.
Hold on there, bucko. You ain't going no place.
Don't maltreat him, Brady. What did he say, Benny?
He says his people have the answer.
What do you think?
Well, there may be some truth in it. He says some of his people still get the plague.
That must mean it isn't a question of immunity. They must have a cure.
Well, he wasn't clear on that.
Then they must have a vaccine to keep it from spreading.
Does he know?
His answer is for us to go among his people.
Well, that leaves it up to us. The first level of caves is on top of that cliff about a mile ahead.
It's a trap. I'll bet my last dollar on it.
Well, maybe not. And we'll have to risk it.
Wait.
Well?
Let me go. I got you all into this.
But how will you talk?
Benny here can give me enough of the code so I can ask the big question.
You understand that they might just decide to cut your throat?
I'm fully aware of the risk.
All right, Doctor. You go ahead. We'll wait at the foot of the cliff. If you aren't back down in 3 hours, we'll come up after you.
What about the Gimpo here?
We'll hold him as a hostage to ensure the doctor's safety.
All right, people. This
doc
is what
comes
the
back,
pre-show
all right,
is all
we'll
about. Testing out my signal and making sure I'm good to go. I am going over here, and I am going to turn off my other computer here and see if that helps my speed. So, let's check this out, people. We seem to be at some kind of peak usage time here. Okay. I'm seeing the numbers now. I think it was me. Yeah. I think it was my usage that was doing it. I was playing X-1 from my YouTube channel, which was then using twice as much data. Ah, okay. Now I get it. Now I get it. I swear it's on. All right, here we go. There it is, yeah. That was the problem. Yeah. That was the problem. I think it was mine, though. Because I'm playing YouTube onto YouTube, and I think I was using twice the stuff. You guys go ahead and get back on. And I'm going to stay off YouTube on this computer and see what my speed does. But that seems to have done it. You get that, people? Yeah, totally. Thank you, dear. Go ahead and boot your stuff back up and see what happens.
All right, people. I'm coming back at you with this thing here.
I'm going to try to pick up where I left off. Let's see. It is clouding up. Absolutely. Hey, I'm learning here, people. This is awesome. I'm figuring it out. I think biscuits are done. Leftover dirty rice, beans. All right, people, I am going to boot up the second half of this episode of X-1 and get this rolling for you. And then it looks like my signal is back to strength because I'm off YouTube on my graphics computer. So there you go. There you go. Problem solved. Situation averted. Yeah, that's cool stuff. Okay, so we're just waiting for this X-1 to boot up here on my graphics computer, sharing one file from computer to computer here. And as soon as it boots up, I will try to put us in about the right spot. Right. Great. I'm so happy that I did this test and found out that I was slowing myself down here. Right? Isn't that awesome stuff? That is so cool. Let me go ahead and boot up my phone here and see if that's going to slow me down any. Okay, there I am. There I am. Go back to live. And it is live. Let me get comments rebooted. Alright. Yeah. Rockin' and a rollin'. Now let me boot up my monitor here, playing from YouTube here, and see if that slows me down. I keep bouncing between 6,900 and 7,300, so that's good. And the kbps there, kilobytes per second. If I load up YouTube on this monitor over here and start playing my show back to me, is it going to slow me down? That's what I want to find out. That's the deal. Squeal. All right, show is about loaded. Coming at us. I don't want to be there. I want to be live. Live. Okay. Testing, testing. All right. So it looks like I have my sound going through correctly, video going through correctly. I am able to monitor live on YouTube, and that's the deal. Let me get over here and see if I can find us in the right spot.
Come on before I break this shovel on your star.
Yeah, what's the trouble?
Cap, I caught me one of these gimpos sneaking around outside the tent.
Bring him in the light of the fire. We can get a look at him.
That'll work.
Faulkner?
Yes, sir?
Keep an eye on him. Try to establish some communication.
All right, get in there.
Hey, look out. No need to knock him down, that is.
Oh, that's the only language they understand.
See if you can reach him, Faulkner.
Okay, Captain.
Biscuits, baby.
I'll need a drum of some sort.
A what?
Well, they have no language as we know it, and they have a very rudimentary sense of hearing. I find they communicate with one another through a very primitive kind of vibration of the tongue. The closest I can come is a series of drum beats, a sort of Morse code. The psychologist on the first expedition had it worked out before he was killed by the plague. I've studied his notes, and I think it'll work.
You mean these little critters can talk to one another?
I believe they can. At any rate, we'll have a chance to find out. Do we have something I can use for a drum?
Here. Take my water bottle.
Thank you, Doctor. Now, I'll tap it 3 times. That's a greeting of some sort.
Just a moment.
Yes, sir?
I don't want you treating this fellow like an equal. Don't give him the idea that we're desperate. Once they sense that, you're lost.
I have to communicate with him, sir.
Well, just bear in mind what I said. Dignity.
Yes, sir. I'll do my best, sir.
It was a strange sight. On one side of the water bottle crouched little Benny Faulkner, looking for all the world like a human spider. Across from him crouched the Landrian, a humpbacked, gray little creature with an enormous head and those huge, soft lavender eyes. Every few moments, one would stop the strange tattoo of communication, and the other would take it up. I'm setting forth in this narrative the most vital part of their conversation, as Benny Faulkner later transcribed it from the best of his memory. Benny asked, "Why were your cities abandoned? Was it the plague?" The native said yes. Benny said, "Do you still fear the plague?" The native answered yes. "Do any of your people become afflicted?" The answer was some. "How do you treat them?" Silence. "How can we find a cure for the plague?" More silence. Then the native said, "Go among my people." Benny asked, "Will we find the answer among your people?" And the native replied, "My people have the answer." Benny said, "Will you tell me the answer?" The native repeated, "Go among my people." As far as the Landrian was concerned, the conversation was ended. He rose to go, and Faulkner stepped from his path, but Brady was there to ensure the bet.
Hold on there, bucko. You ain't going no place.
Don't maltreat him, Brady. What did he say, Benny?
He says his people have the answer.
What do you think?
Well, there may be some truth in it. He says some of his people still get the plague.
That must mean it isn't a question of immunity. They must have a cure.
Well, he wasn't clear on that.
Then they must have a vaccine to keep it from spreading.
Does he know?
His answer is for us to go among his people.
Well, that leaves it up to us. The first level of caves is on top of that cliff about a mile ahead.
It's a trap. I'll bet my last dollar on it.
Well, maybe not. And we'll have to risk it.
Wait.
Well?
Let me go. I got you all into this.
But how will you talk?
Benny here can give me enough of the code so I can ask the big question.
You understand that they might just decide to cut your throat?
I'm fully aware of the risk.
All right, Doctor. You go ahead. We'll wait at the foot of the cliff. If you aren't back down in 3 hours, we'll come up after you.
What about the Gimpo here?
We'll hold him as a hostage to ensure the doctor's safety. If the doc comes back, all right, we'll let him go. If not, well, that's your job, Brady.
A pleasure.
It took Dr. Morgan about an hour to pick his way up the side of the cliff to the first of the openings where the Landrians lived. He waved to us before he entered the mouth of the cave, and we waved back. Then we settled down to wait. It was a long, long wait.
Eight o'clock. He's been up there more than 3 hours, Cap.
Well, we'll give him a little more time.
It's getting colder.
Yes, keep that fire going.
How much longer are you going to wait, Cap?
Oh, we've got lots of time.
You'd think we'd have heard of something by now if they was going to knock him off, I mean.
No, not necessarily. Wait. Look, up on the cliff.
That's him, all right. Hey, what's he running for?
I don't know. He looks scared.
That crazy fool, if he don't look out...
Doctor! Dr. Morgan, look out! Look out! We found the doctor at the foot of the cliff, crumpled and broken. There were no marks on his body, nothing except a twisted, mocking grin on his face. Oh, yes, and one other thing. Scrawled across the pad he had taken with him on which to make notes concerning the answer was a single word. The word was courtesy. We threw the paper away. The expedition was a failure, though Bat Ears claimed he'd get it out of the Gimpo if I'd let him. I nodded in agreement. Bat Ears took the little native off behind an outcropping of rock. He was back in 15 minutes, dripping with sweat. Well?
Let's go, Cap.
Nothing, huh?
But nothing.
Is he,
They ain't made very good, these little gray people. They come apart too easy, so let's go, huh, Cap?
All right. Benny. Benny, what is it?
I feel kind of sick. All of a sudden, in the back of my head, a dull kind of pain.
Let me see your tongue. Come on, give him a hand, Bat Ears. We've got to get him back to camp.
What is it?
I'm not sure, but that blackness on the tongue and the headache, it could be the plague. By the time we got Benny Faulkner back to camp, he had the red spots on his body, and then the fever began to rage. It was the plague, no mistake about it. Before morning, Collins, the supply sergeant, had it. Then it was Peabody. After that, the men went down like 10 pins. Then one morning, Bat Ears Brady dragged himself into my tent and sat down. The lines in his face told me the end was coming pretty fast. Sit down, Brady. Well, what's the count?
6 left. We buried the chaplain today. Got anything to drink?
Sorry, I'm all out.
How about a cigarette, then? You got a cigarette?
Yeah, sure. Here. How's Faulkner?
I don't get it. He's still alive.
Still alive?
Yep. In fact, he's getting better. He's sitting up.
Holy mackerel.
Oh, this is a good cigarette.
It's like any other.
No. This one's different, Cap. This is my last.
What do you mean, Brady?
Take a look at my tongue. See? Little black spots.
Somehow I managed to get him into bed. He was already raving when I gave him the last of the morphine. It was incredible. Big, brawling, Bat Ears Brady, a tower of strength, lying sick and whimpering on a cot. When he died, I went out on the moors to think. The sun was a dull red glow. Cold breeze whipped up. But somehow I couldn't forget Faulkner. Why should Faulkner recover from a plague from which no man has ever recovered? Surely there must be a reason. Nothing happened without a reason. I turned and went back to see Benny Faulkner.
Hello, Captain.
Hello, Benny. How are you?
Pretty good. I got up and walked a couple of steps today. How goes it?
Brady's gone. Oh. I just buried him. Listen, Benny, there must be some reason why...
Well, there's nothing strange about me, nothing different from any other man.
There must be. You survived the virus. Oh. Benny, I want you to tell me everything you know about yourself, everything you can remember. Because somewhere in your makeup is some little thing that makes the difference. If I can find that thing, then maybe I can do something to save myself and the rest. Even if I can't, at least I can leave a record for any future expedition that comes to Landro. Okay?
Okay, Captain. Where should I start?
At the beginning. I'm going to take notes.
Well, I was born on the 2nd of July in 1971. My parents were ordinary people. My father was... Look, Captain, I've told you everything I can remember. 3 days now you've gone over me, pawed me, questioned me. What else can I tell you?
Benny, let's go over that last part once again.
Where should I start?
Take it from where the native started to walk away. You stepped out of his path, and Brady grabbed him.
Okay, so I stepped out of his path.
Why?
What do you mean, why?
Why did you step out of his path?
Why not? Courtesy, I guess. What's the matter?
Courtesy. That's the word that Dr. Morgan had scrawled in his notebook.
Well, I don't see that...
I don't either. Tell me, Benny, why should you want to be courteous to a native?
Why not?
What about maintaining your own dignity?
Are you talking about dignity or arrogance?
I don't know. Benny, listen, maybe we were all wet in our deductions. Maybe these cities here on Landro weren't deserted centuries ago. Maybe these little people up in the caves are the same people who used to live in those big cities.
Why would they leave?
Maybe they found out the big cities weren't the answer. Maybe they found out that civilization doesn't necessarily bring happiness. So they just packed up and left, returned to the simple.
No, it doesn't make sense. You're forgetting the plague.
What is the plague, Benny?
Well, I don't know.
Is it a virus?
I don't think they ever found out.
You know what I think?
What?
I think the plague is nothing more than what we know as greed and arrogance.
Captain, you're going off your rocker.
I think maybe we're in line to die. Serum was good. In fact, I don't think the serum had anything to do with it.
Oh, I never heard anything as crazy, fantastic in my life.
No? Well, I think I'll go back to my tent and finish writing the report. I am beginning to sweat a little.
Captain, maybe it isn't the plague.
It is. I've seen it too many times to kid myself about it.
Maybe hot compresses or something.
No, Benny.
Listen, Captain, you don't believe that junk about courtesy, do you? I mean, that's a lot of nonsense. You must know that. Holy mackerel, Captain. You do believe it, don't you?
Good night, Benny. I think I'd like to be alone for a while.
Okay. Good night, Captain.
Maybe the supply ship will be early. You can probably stick it out.
Sure. Good night, Captain.
And this concludes my report. I'm turning it over to Benny Faulkner in the hopes that he will be able to transmit it to any other expedition commander who contemplates exploring the planet of Landro. The fever is beginning to mount now. My hands tremble as I write. The end should not be far off. There's little question in my mind as to what it'll be. You see, I didn't have a chance. I stepped out of no paths. I showed no courtesy.
You have just heard X-1, presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Street and Smith, publishers of astounding science fiction. Tonight, by transcription, X-1 has brought you Courtesy, adapted for radio by George Lefferts from the story by Clifford Simad. Featured in the cast were Brett Morrison as Captain Ira Warren, Arnold Robertson as Battiers Brady, Edwin Jerome as Dr. Morgan, and Bill Griffiths as Benny Faulkner. Your announcer, Fred Collins. X-1 was directed by Ken McGregor and is an NBC Radio Network production. And now, next week, the frontier is a strange place, and a frontier is not always easy to recognize. It may lie on the other side of a simple door marked No Admittance, but it is always deadly dangerous. What happens when an innocent girl ignores a single regulation? You will find out next week at X-1.
When you buy United States savings bonds, you help to build your own future security. Here's an opportunity to save systematically for long-range personal objectives. And with their increased yield and other improvements, U.S. savings bonds are a better investment than ever before.
Hey, baby, I'm back. Good evening, weirdos. It's me, Weird Guy. How are you doing? I want to thank you for joining me. I just finished eating dinner. We made some biscuits
Biscuits. We made us some biscuits to go with that leftover dirty rice and beans. Oh man, that is some good stuff. A little sour cream on there, mix it up. It's to die for, you know. So we finished the telethon last night. It was fantastic. We had a couple of winners, Charlene and Brandy. That was really cool. Yeah. I think it's about time I start the show. Let's do this. Yeah. Right on. The noise.
Check, testing, 1, 2, 3, check. Is anybody there? Check, testing, 1, 2, 3, check. Hello? Anybody there?
X minus 5, 4, 3, 2, X minus 1, fire. No, really, people, I am back, baby. It's me. I swear, crazy old weird bearded guy here. Just chilling out. I'm just chilling, all right? So this is my nighttime nonsense and nostalgia show. This is where I come to you and I play old music and old commercials and old weird stuff. And we have a lot of fun, all right? So what are we going to do now? I think we're going to have to play some music. Let's get us a couple of pieces of music here, and that's going to be some excitement here. Ba-doopy doop boop 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 boopity boop boop. All right, so we've got some new music coming up, and I hope you all enjoy it. Let's do this.
Crazy people, crazy people, crazy people like me go crazy over people like you. Daffy people, goofy people, dizzy people like me go nutty over things that you do. When we are underneath the moon above, you've got me acting like a loon. It must be love. Crazy people, crazy people, crazy people like me go crazy over people like you. Crazy people like me go crazy over people like you. Dizzy people like me go nutty over things that you do. Don't mind us if we rave a lot. Sweet honey child, it's just a habit that we've got. You're driving me wild. I'm shouting la 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 la. Crazy people like me go crazy over people like you.
Talk of happiness, real true happiness. Why, do you know what it means? Some people say that it's wealth, while others say it's health. But there's a happiness, just one happiness, that I've been longing to find. I'll paint a picture for you, just the kind I have in mind. Think of just a little town when the evening sun goes down. That's my happiness. Think of just a little bungalow where those morning glories grow. That's my happiness. Don't hesitate, don't you wait, but open that gate and walk in with me. Look around and oh, what a home, sweet home you will see. Now think of someone, if you can, saying, Daddy, here I am. That's my happiness. Now the things that I may want, why you may never want. We don't always agree. But happiness to hold is worth far more than gold. I don't want a lot. Give me just a cot in my own little home, and life will always be so sunny and just as sweet as a honeycomb. Yo-do-do, ya-da-da-da-da, you-do-do-do-do-do-do. That's my happiness. Yo-do-do, ya-da-da-da-da, you-do-do-do-do-do-do. That's my happiness. Don't hesitate, don't you wait, but open that gate and walk in with me. Now, honey, take a look around, and oh, what a home, sweet home you are gonna see. Picture just a rocking chair, someone there with snow white hair. That's my happiness.
How my heart is yearning, I'm returning to blue Hawaii. I'm so blue for you.
reptile miss when he wants a kiss or two. Quack, quack, the ducky what goes when to someone he would propose. That's what the animals do when they want to say I love you. Yes, that's the rhino. Is he in pain? As far as I know, he's just in love again. Grunt, grunt, the piggywigs cry. Sly old tiger just winks his eye. That's what the animals do when they want to say I love you. A doggy says bow wow, a pussy says meow, and when the wise old owl goes who, it's 10 to 1 that he wants to woo. When an ostrich wants to wed, he simply hides his head. A goldfish can't make love alas because he lives in a house of glass. What do the animals do when they want to say I love you? The frog just croaks when he wants to coax his little froggy Lou. Oomph, the buffalo snorts when his buffalo gal he courts. That's what the animals do when they want to say I love you. The gay hyena keeps calling to his sleeping Lena, the lady kangaroo. The little lamb bleats when his little bo sheep he meets. That's what the animals do when they want to say I love you.
Well, I've always wanted to know, what do the animals do when they say I love you? From 1934, Joel George Olson is going to tell us. Blue Hawaii from Smith Ballou Orchestra, 1929. That's My Happiness from Chester Gaylord. Crazy People from 1932 and the Ben Selvin Orchestra. And we started it off with the Alabama Stomp from 1926 and the Leo Reisman Orchestra. And now a word from our sponsors.
Betty, is Big Mac still your one and only? Uh-huh. By the way, where'd you meet him? I met him at McDonald's store. He came to me with so much more, you get the picture? Yes, we see. That's when I fell for the leader of the pack. He was sizzling. He's the leader of the pack. McDonald's Great Big Mac. We know what you mean when you say Great Big Mac. He's got 2 old beef patties, special sauce all around, with mellow cheese melting down, down.
Mr. Clean gets rid of dirt and grime and grease in just a minute.
Mr. Clean will clean your whole house and everything that's in it.
Floors, doors, walls, halls, white sidewall tires, and old golf balls.
Sinks, stoves, bathtubs he'll do. He'll even help clean laundry too.
Mr. Clean gets rid of dirt and grime and grease in just a minute.
Mr. Clean will clean your whole house and everything that's in it.
Can he clean a kitchen sink?
Quicker than a wink.
Can he clean a window sash?
Faster than a flash.
Can he clean a dirty mirror?
He'll make it bright and clear.
Can he clean a diamond ring?
Mr. Clean cleans anything.
Mr. Clean gets rid of dirt and grime and grease in just a minute. Mr. Clean will clean your whole house and everything that's in it. Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean.
You need to save today. You need to find a way. You need all the Revco you can get.
Now there's a deodorant that's effective and economical too. It's So Dry deodorant, and you can get it at your nearest Revco Discount Drug Center. So Dry deodorant gives you maximum protection against odor and wetness to help you stay fresh and self-confident all day. And it has that pleasant desert flower fragrance. So Dry deodorant, cream and roll-on. Look for it at a Revco Discount Drug Center, where Revco's everyday low discount prices will help you save on all of your other drugstore needs.
You need all the Revco you can get.
From 1929, Libby Hallman, Am I Blue?
I'm just a woman, a lonely woman, waiting on the weary shore. I'm just a woman who's only human, one you should be sorry for. Woke up this morning around about dawn. Without a warning, I found he was gone. Why should he do it? How could he do it? He never done it before. Am I blue? Am I blue? Ain't these tears in these eyes telling you? Am I blue? You'd be too. If your plan with your man done fell through, was a time I was his only one, but now I'm the sad and lonely one. Lordy, was I gay till today. Now he's gone and we're through. Am I blue? Am I blue? Am I blue? Just ask me, am I blue? Ain't these teardrops in these eyes telling a tale to you? Am I blue? You'd be too, I'm not fooling. If your plan made with your man happened to fall through, was a time I was his only one, but now was I gay? Till today. Now he's gone, and we're through. Am I blue?
just as hollow as it can be. But it wouldn't be make-believe if you believed in me.
From her head to toes. Mary, quite contrary, had a lot of beaux. One by one she passed them by, till Johnny Splivens caught her eye. Now when Johnny calls on her, you'll hear her cry. Oh, Papa, won't you please make John behave? Oh, Papa, you should hear my Johnny rave. He acts so suspicious, he treats me oh so rough. I let out a scream, but I don't think that I scream loud enough. He holds me and folds me and then calls me a dream. The room is so warm that we turned off all the steam. Oh, Papa, I'm trying to be brave. But Papa, won't you please make John behave? Oh, Papa, won't you please make John behave? Oh, Papa, you should hear my Johnny rave. Ma warned me I shouldn't bring Johnny home tonight. She told me the reason, and now I believe that she was right. When he starts in loving, he works so very fast. He speaks of his future, and I can guess his past. Oh, Papa, I'm trying to be brave. But Papa, won't you please make John behave? Won't you please make John behave? Oh, Papa, you should hear my Johnny rave. I gave him his hat, and we're standing in the hall. He'd better leave now, or I won't want him to leave at all. He teases and squeezes, and now he holds my hand. Oh, Father, don't bother. Gee whiz, ain't nature grand? Oh, Papa, you ought to hear him rave. But Papa, won't you please make John behave?
Dreaming dreams we all do, working hard so they come true. You can get a helping hand at Kmart stores, they understand.
Kmart is your savings
Macy's, presenting the now happenings of Peter Max, an artist and designer of everything from posters to a famous Manhattan restaurant. You've seen his work everywhere. Now, a first and exclusive table setting display at Macy's. There are placemats and napkins you'll want to frame and hang on the wall. Towels to make the most avant-garde posters look tame. The grooviest placemats you've ever seen in white, clean vinyl. Only $125. See it Monday at Macy's. And meet Peter Max, too, in person. You see this color revolution at the Macy's nearest you. It's a groove.
Home. That must really freak out the dogs, man.
No, man, that's one of Santa's leftover elves. What's happening, man?
E.T. has extra Christmas money. Shop heads together.
What would an elf want with heads together?
E.T. into rock and roll. Watch those $11.99 Cutler specials and $4.99 LPs.
Yeah, man, they've got those water beds, man. They needed ones for when your toes are cold. And are you into designer jeans, elf?
Nothing comes between E.T. and Calvin's.
Well, you're in luck at heads, man. They've got everything. Do they have those videotapes, man? I'm shocked at you, man. You didn't know about the $1 a day videotape club? Aren't you shocked, elf?
E.T. shocked.
Hey, man, can we use this thing as a hood ornament?
E.T. Ouch! Ouch!
You get his wallet, man.
Hey man, did you see which way that elf went, Holmes? I don't know, man. It's some crazy shit. Welcome back to Nighttime Nonsense and Nostalgia. This is Elsinore Brothers Studio Live. Before the break, we heard Oh Papa from Eddie Cantor in 1924. It's Only a Paper Moon from George Olson in 1933. And from 1927, we heard Good News from Ben Selvin Orchestra. And we started that set off with Libby Hallman's Am I Blue from 1929. The peach of a pear.
Across the fairway, the blossoms over there are telling us in their way we'd make a peach of a pear. The whole world seems to pause now, no sound upon the air. Just my heart calling yours now, we'd make a peach of a pear. Why, there goes a lark winging high, he'll notify the summer sky to wear its new blue suit for us. For nature seems to rule for us, and who are we to cross them? It wouldn't be quite fair. Beneath the orange blossom, we'd make a peach of a pear.
could be. And every day was a lonely day for me. Then good luck came a-knocking at my door. Skies were gray, but they're not gray anymore. Blue skies smiling at me. Nothing but blue skies do I see. Bluebirds singing a song. Nothing but bluebirds all day long. I never saw the sun shining so bright. I never saw things going so right. Noticing the clouds up in the sky. And when you're in love, my, how they fly. Blue days, all of them gone. And nothing but blue skies from now on. Now I should care if the wind blows east or west. And I should fret if the worst looks like the best. And I should mind if they say it can't be true. I should smile, and that's exactly what I'll do. Blue skies. Nothing but blue skies. Blue skies. I never saw the sun shining so bright. I never saw things going so right. Noticing the clouds up in the sky. And when you're in love, my, how they fly. Blue days, all of them gone. Nothing but blue skies from now on. Blue skies smiling at me. Nothing but blue skies do I see. Bluebirds singing a song. Nothing but bluebirds all day long. I never saw the sun shining so bright. I never saw things going so right. Noticing the clouds up in the sky. And when you're in love, my, how they fly. Blue days, all of them gone. And nothing but blue skies from now on.
Eminence, master of the universe, great guru, I understand that Peter Sellers studied under you for his role in I Love You, Alice B. Toklas.
Yeah, I was his teacher.
What, may I inquire, did you teach him?
I ain't no squealer.
While the great guru is meditating, make up your mind to see Peter Sellers in I Love You, Alice B. Toklas, in Technicolor from Warner Brothers 7 Arts.
Hey, you know something? That's a great idea.
Now showing citywide.
93 KHJ.
You work hard for a living, and you don't get paid to take off with a headache. That's why Thrift Drug suggests you try BC Headache Powder. Because it's a powder, BC goes to work fast, so your headache is gone quickly, and you can get back to the job at hand. Thrift Drug puts it this way: when the pain keeps growing, but you gotta keep going, that's the time to take BC. For healthy savings on BC Headache Powder in the economical 50-packet size and all your health and beauty needs, trust Thrift Drug.
McNugget Mania on parade. When McDonald's introduced Chicken McNuggets, those tasty chunks of golden chicken, the nation went for them in a big way. The demand was great, and McDonald's response swift. 2 new sizes of McNuggets with 9 and 20 pieces. We see now the first annual McNugget Parade as citizens from 50 states and Puerto Rico gather to pay tribute to the new sizes of McNuggets. And here they come. The first huge float approaches, depicting the McNugget 9-piece size, so perfect for big appetites. And now the McNuggets 20-piece size. 20 succulent pieces of tender chicken, enough for dinners or picnics, plus your favorite sauces. Choose from barbecue, hot mustard, sweet and sour, or honey. Yes, the nation knows now Chicken McNuggets come in 3 sizes, 6, 9, and 20. So aptly demonstrated in Chicken McNuggets on parade.
McNuggets, McDonald's, and you.
Chicken McNuggets on parade, indeed. I don't think so. Before the break, we heard, well, they screamed it at us at first, The Birth of the Blues from 1926, the Leo Reisman Orchestra. Sweet Suzanne came from 1929, and the Rudy Valley Orchestra, Whispering Jack Smith from 1927, brought us Blue Skies, Nothing But Blue Skies. And from 1930, we had the Gus Arnheim Orchestra, A Peach of a Pear. And it looks like we have just enough time for a few more, so here we go.
Why do you keep on stalling when I'm calling every night? Why do you keep me waiting, speculating, is it right? You say you love and yet you quite forget you must decide. If you don't make up your mind, someday you'll wake up and find there's a time for everything, but everyone who's sane knows anytime's the time to fall in love. Hearts are eager in the spring, for love as every swain knows, not dependent on the mood above. Cupid is not swayed by the weather. What does he care, dear, if it rains? Every plan we make together may not work out, still love remains. Set the date, don't hesitate, but just make up your mind, dear. Now's the time to fall in love with me. Cupid is not swayed by the weather. What does he care, dear, if it rains? Every plan we make together may not work out, still love remains. So set the date, don't hesitate, but just make up your mind, dear. Now's the time to fall in love with me.
Sentimental things fill my mind. She, when she kisses me, I look either far from refined. Like rain, the touch of her can't get too much of her. That sweet, sweet baby of mine.
smile, but I found that so hard to do. I've been dancing with tears in my eyes, 'cause the boy in my arms wasn't you.
Dancing with Tears in My Eyes, the Ben Selfin Orchestra from 1930. That's got to be one of my favorite orchestras there. From 1928, Abe Lyman brought us Baby. And we started the set off with Anytime's The Time to Fall in Love from 1930 and Chester Gaylord. Well, you know, people, that's going to about do it for me this evening. It looks like it's about time for me to jump into my phone booth and head on back to my own time. I am happy to come and join you once an evening and bring you a taste of the past. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, weirdos of all ages, it's time for me to hit the road once again. So thank you for joining me. And be sure to tune in tomorrow night for more nonsense and nostalgia. Be kind, love, stay weird.